चलो
this
गाइस,
approach of
ऑफिस
the
खत्म
US?
हो गया है
What is the logic,
एंड
the rationale behind this
यूपीएससी का
decision of
प्रिपरेशन
Donald
स्टार्ट
Trump?
हो गया है.
There must be some explanation behind this large-scale economic disruption that Trump's policies have been creating. So we can understand all these dynamics and we can talk about how the global trade can be disrupted.
बहुत
What
गर्मी
would be
लग
the
रहा है
impact on US-China economic relations? How would this affect India? And what should India do to deal with a destabilized world which is affected by tariff wars? It also leads us to the big question. Will American policies, will Trump's tariff war push the global economy into a recession? Many top experts, economic analysts and consulting firms, they are of the opinion, they have a concern that these policies of Trump and the trade war which has begun could not only push the American economy into a recession, it could end up pushing the global economy into a deeper recession. So given the importance of the topic, let's dive into this article, go beyond the article as well, to understand this topic in a very comprehensive manner. See, as I was mentioning, trade wars is not a feature of American trade policy and foreign policy, because United States has been the champion of free trade, at least in the last 70 to 80 years. Since the middle of the 20th century, especially following the Great Depression of the 1930s, during the Second World War days and the post-war days, the US was the one which pioneered free trade.
क्या करना चाह रहा है भाई
trade restrictions,
नाच रहा है.
and it encouraged countries and even pushed countries to trade freely by eliminating the trade barriers. In that regard, US has been the champion of primary architect of globalization. The US primarily benefited from free trade and globalization.
गियर फंस क्यों रहा है?
In fact, US gave free trade the same priority as
थोड़ा
that of
ध्यान से
democracy.
सुना जाए.
Just like US would support and push democracy around the world, it would similarly promote free trade as a economic ideology. So today it is quite alarming and shocking to see United States making a U-turn, and it's all thanks to the disruptive policies of President Trump. So what explains this? Now, before we talk about Trump's motivation and the rationale behind the tariff wars, let's see what kind of tariffs was US placing on the other countries before President Trump assumed office. See, over the last few decades, US has been levying one of the lowest tariffs on imports in the world. On an average, American tariffs on what it was importing into the country.
Incoming